Alrighty, folks, we are back. Back with more RPG adventures for you all. So, let's just find the castle. Who are you? What are you? Thank you, kitten. And to celebrate, let's get the name of it exactly. Now the cat's not sat on my keyboard. To celebrate, toss away the could haves and should haves day. We're encouraging you to write your could haves and should haves down on a piece of paper. What's your best way of throwing away a piece of paper? Starting with Eden.
I mean, ideally, I guess first of all, I'm Eden. Hello, my character's Wraith, Taventa, Mage, Mortician, all that, and throwing it away. I would prefer to recycle paper, really. I mean, I tend to scribble all over any scrap that I've got before I chuck it away, get as much use as I can. So, yeah, recycle it.
Okay, fair enough. Tom?
Hello, I'm Tom. My current character is name of Ink Garnham. He's like a bullet boy. The best way to throw away a piece of paper, well, the furthest away you're going to get it is by making it into a paper aeroplane and tossing it from somewhere really high up, which is objectively the best way of getting rid of it because you're going the furthest, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the question, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I thought you were going to have a but at the end there, the way you were wording it. But okay.
No. What? What do you mean? No, of course not.
Okay. And finally, we have back.
I am Bot. I play Tristan, a rogue ranger. And as far as throwing away paper, I say burn it. Burn it with fire.
That would work. So, what happened last time?
Not much.
We rode up to
Really?
a checkpoint and kind of ended up having the people at the checkpoint noticed the brooch that Wraith had kind of acquired on one of our previous adventures, purloined off of a body. He'd stuck it to his chest, and these people had kind of spotted it and took it to mean something. They took it to be a point of authority and kind of gave us the way through, but at the same time questioned quite a bit and forced me to really roll with the moment and just be like, here's a bunch of excuses. Thankfully, they stuck.
Yep.
So we got through that.
Yeah, it was a little bit close at some point.
And then after that, we rode on a bit. And we ended up in a town, if memory serves.
Yeah, it was a little bit late on content last time, I would definitely say that. But we're here now. So we'll continue from there. I just say this one, there's no Amy this week, because she's in work, I think. And we have not heard from Rowan, so they might turn up. Who knows? So yes, we'll continue from there. So you think you're still in a town in Nevada, which has that kind of horseshoe-esque look, where there's all the sort of grander houses around the sort of edges, and all the sort of more villagey buildings around the lower bit. And as you awaken from your day and have had your morning's breakfast, you walk outside to hear a screaming match between what looks like a Templar and a very thin-looking man. What do you want to do?
Stay out of sight, given there's a Templar there, I think.
Listen, definitely listen. Maybe get closer, but not in the way.
Not too close.
Okay.
How's this skinny-looking man looking? Like, is he dressed in rags? Like,
Yeah,
what level of society does he look like he comes from?
He's dressed in some quite nice-looking robes. The Templar basically seems to be going, "It's not right. You can't just do that." And the skinny man is like, "Oh, come on, show me where this apprentice is. You can't just yell at me. You need to show me these things." "He's over here. Come on, then." So he leads off with this skinny man following. Are you want to follow as well?
Sure, why not? I'll have a mosey along, eh?
Yeah, it's curious.
Keep it.
Especially where it's a Templar.
Yeah, I think you guys can kind of maybe take the lead a little bit, and Wraith will be hanging back and peering around corners and slowly slinking forwards behind you guys to make sure that he's definitely the last one that's seen by that Templar.
Yeah.
Alright. So you walk
Seems
about maybe
reasonable.
5-6 minutes out of the village, and you eventually come to this what looks like a quite large plot of land where there's a couple of monuments in, lots of statues. And as you sort of weave your way through the statues, you find this this sort of young-looking man who looks, he's sort of hunched over. There's blood just lying everywhere around him,
Oh.
and he sort of lifts his head up and he's panting quite heavily. And you hear the Templar go, "He's here! Look, and he's covered in blood. How am I not meant to think this is blood magic?" And the skinny man's going, "Well, you can't prove anything. I mean, if it even is blood magic, he's just honouring the dead, aren't you, son? He's not doing anything wrong. Now piss off, Templar." "It's blood magic. I need to do something about it. We can't let this unchecked going on." No, you can just fuck off. You can just leave me alone. Leave this poor gentleman to do the rest of his day." "But it's blood magic. I've got to go raise the alarm." And you hear the conversation get more and more heated as it's going on. What are you going to do?
Country bumpkins, eh? Idiots, the lot of them.
Is there actually any indication from the distance that I'm looking at? Can I see that there's any sign of actual blood magic, or is it just a lot of blood all over the place?
You can definitely feel that there's something magical going on here. But there is, as far as you can see, there's just blood everywhere.
And the blood's on him too.
Yep. Blood's all over him, all over the ground around him.
But is it clear if like the blood is his or is it definitely someone else's blood?
It's not. Oh, well, it's not obvious to tell whose blood it is, but he is just covered in blood.
Trying to think, because ideally we need to get rid of the Templar if we want a closer look. Or one or both of you could try and go up. I just don't think it's a good idea, me being a Tevinter mage. Like, it's going to be too obvious if I try anything here.
I mean, Nathaniel may maybe go up and interrupt them and ask what's going on.
Oh.
I mean, not Nathaniel, Tristan.
Yep.
I'll go with you.
Okay. The Templar turns to look at you, gives a sort of second of. Goes, "Oh, yeah, these are you fellow Templars, yeah, they're fellow Templars. They've come to arrest him. You should let him go." "Oh, just piss off. He's just a young lad. Just had a nosebleed, haven't you, son?" At this point, the one hunched over is just making very laboured breathing sounds and is getting more and more hunched over by the second.
God damn it, I wish Amy was here. Do with the healer. Not in front of a paladin though. Templar, sorry. Although that being said, it doesn't seem like much of a Templar if he thinks we're also Templars.
Run with it. That's my advice. If he's thinking that you're the backup crew, tell him what's what.
Sure.
Alright, so what are you gonna do?
Tristan, I defer to your superior judgment. I'm literally a shopkeeper.
I'm feeling Tristan is going to try and convince the Templar to go back. And that will take care of it.
Alright. So as you sort of lean in to sort of tell him that, I think you should go back, he goes, yes, exactly, yeah, the platoon's on its way. Wonderful. Well, it's a whole platoon coming in. You need to let us take this gentleman away. Oh, for fuck's sake. And the old man, the sort of skinny man, just walks around front and goes, "Look, he's fine." He puts his arm around him. "Aren't you fine?" And he just pulls him, so he's standing full upright. And the man's eyes are almost pinpoint white with a small black dot in the middle, and his mouth is covered in blood, like dripping almost feveredish. He's like, "Say he's fine, aren't you? It's a nosebleed, isn't it?" And he sort of notably whaps him in the ribs, and the other figure emits a The Templar looks more and more frightened by the fact that this one is covered in blood, like even more covered in blood than he thought.
Yeah, I don't think that's a nosebleed. I think he's either dying or undead.
Hmm.
That guy has got minutes to live.
I'm sure he's fine, aren't you? You're fine, aren't you? And he just sort of slaps him on the back again, and you hear this, and you as you watch as this figure like starts coughing again, and 3 or 4 seconds later, a tooth just flies out of his mouth and just lands on the floor in front of you.
I'm gonna walk up to the skinny old guy
Mm-hmm.
and just grab him and say, just pull him away from him and say, he's dying, and you're making things worse. Piss off.
The skinny man just looks at you and goes, "You are touching the robes of the Mortalitasi. I suggest you refrain."
I'm gonna gob up a load and spit on him, on his fucking robes.
He
Piss off.
He looks incredibly angry, and you notice his eyes start to glow.
I'm trying to think.
I'd like to what is it? Blunderbuss. I couldn't remember if it was a pistol or blunderbuss. Get out my blunderbuss off my hip and push it into his chest and say, "Move."
Yeah, he is now chanting.
I pull the trigger.
Okay. You're point blank. I assume you keep your gun loaded.
Oh yeah.
Right. 2 seconds. Let's just do a dice roll on this. See what happens
Yeah,
to him.
a blunderbuss at point blank to the chest is gonna hurt.
It's probably going to do something, but just in case something else weird happens. Yeah. You pull the thing, a massive hole is just basically like punched through this guy's chest. You can effectively see through to the other side.
It had that effect on pig carcasses when I tested it.
He gives you a sort of very pained expression, then starts collapsing downwards, only to stop himself and start hovering in the air and sort of righting himself. And he's sort of standing in front of you, only sort of slightly hovering with this massive hole in his chest, and he's starting to glow blue.
I think Wraith has kind of stood a little ways back, peering around a corner, just muttering to himself like, "That didn't take very long." His staff and kind of bring it around the corner to be like ready for.
Normally it takes more than 10 minutes into the episode before we kill someone. Oh shit, the fourth wall.
Tristan's probably getting a bow ready to shoot him in the brain.
Okay.
Brain
Probably
shot
best.
feels pretty good.
Yeah. If Tristan wants to roll their shot.
Is that Dex? I always
Yes,
forget.
it's Dex.
This.
Effective, yep.
Ooh.
You shoot him point blank in the head. The arrow pops through his eye. He shudders very violently and begins to start like properly writhing as the glowing begins to fade and he begins to start slowly like sliding down to lying on the ground.
By this point, I would hope that I've managed to reload my blunderbuss, and I'm going to. I'm not going to shoot him yet. I'm just going to be ready, because I've seen an arrow go through him, and I've seen the hole that's left behind, and I'm thinking, okay, he's probably not long now. What's happened to the guy on the floor? Anything? Or just more?
The one that was hunched over, sort of tilts his head up to look at you all, and he watches as this blue flame slowly dies in this other body, and he also just sort of he sways a little bit, shakes a little bit, and then just collapses on the floor. The Templar just looking at you with wide eyes.
Has the skinny guy fallen down?
The
Does he
skinny
look
guy
pretty
is the
dead?
one that's basically dead. Yeah,
He looks pretty dead.
The blue
Okay.
glow has stopped, and seems to have just be lying on the ground now in this small bleeding mess.
Right. Tristan?
I've asked the Templar who are these people. Like he said, mortal Otasi, and I feel Tristan knows enough about Navarra to know who general gist of who the mortal Otasi are, but not necessarily who this particular mortal Otasi was.
Right. Well, the Templar looks almost agape at the body on the floor, and when you ask him, he goes, "It was that was Rutherford. That was the town's representation in the Mortality Council."
Oh, well, not anymore.
They're gonna need some new representation.
Which guy? Wait, hang on. Which one was Rutherford?
He just points a very shaky finger at the skinny man who's lying on the floor now, just bleeding into a bigger circle.
Well, I'm gonna put my arm as far as I can reach around, bearing in mind I'm a half dwarf, this Templar, and say, well, look at all that blood. He must have been the blood mage after all. He was the one pulling the strings. So how about you go off and tell all the people who need to know that, although he was actually an evil blood mage, doing evil blood mage things with this poor sod. And I'm going to indicate the other poor sod who's on the ground bleeding.
Okay. You move to basically kick the
I'm going to
second
kick
figure.
it.
No, you
I'm not going to kick the second.
tap it
I'm
with
going to
your foot
indicate. I was going to sort of nod at him, but
nod at him. Okay.
okay.
You do. The Templar
Should we?
just nods and backs away from where you are, and as soon
Yeah,
as
that's
he
a
gets
good lad.
back to roughly where Wraith is, he just turns around full force sprints.
Yeah, that's about right. Now I imagine there's a lot of noise. Now, seeing as we just made a hell of a racket, I suggest we start moving.
What about the guy that's dying? But is there anything we can do?
Yeah, once the Templar's out of, he's past Wraith, Wraith will kind of pop out behind the corner and head over
Give
to
a
you
quick
guys.
heal.
Like, oh, all escalated very quickly there. It doesn't look like, is it either of them alive? And
I don't like bullies.
The
So I see, left him quite wholly there. There's no bringing him back. Let's have a
Don't
look at this
try.
other one.
Get the other one.
I'll crouch down and have a look in at the one that had just kind of slumped.
The one that's slumped is breathing incredibly shallowly. He literally will, if you don't do anything almost now, he will probably just die.
Can I detect any kind of influence magic, magic-wise, right now about him particularly?
He has the kind of, you have the sort of magical sense you get of him. He's done something incredibly powerful recently, because he seems like he's exhausted in that kind of magical way.
I'll open his eyes, lift his eyelids to see those pinpoints you described, and look around to the others and be like, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if waking this one up is a good idea. Seems to have, maybe he did actually do some blood magic here. He could, well, have an agenda, and, well, it could be a mercy. What do you think?
I defer to Grace's judgment on it. Being a mage.
Blood magic is a very potent thing. I'm not sure that we've got the tools to deal with it. Though it would
So I guess we just leave him. Seems a damn shame, but It's a risk, I suppose.
I mean, can we tell for sure? Can we see if he's dying, like, and put him out of his misery at least? Because
You can do.
it seems like a sad way to die.
He seems completely exhausted and is breathing incredibly shallow, and is still seeming to like. There's definitely signs of fresh blood in his arms.
I'll try and stabilize him then, and just so that I can give him a proper once-over and checked for like any signs of wounds that he might have inflicted on himself to enact the blood magic or anything like that.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll?
Yep. If you can just roll, and we'll see from there. 12. That's fine. So you try and stop the bleeding in his arms. From what you can tell, you've stopped the bleeding, but as soon as you like open his robes to check the rest of him, you notice he has from his neck to his like navel thousands and thousands of scars,
Oh wow.
varying in depth.
Well, I think that's our answer about the blood magic. And unless you're, well, I suppose if you've got that blunderbuss ready, we could try and bring him around for a quick chat, and worst comes to worst, leave him like the other guy, but what do you think?
I mean, the other guy was keen on protecting him, so it makes me wonder if he's important in something.
Could have been in league. Well, if you're happy to aim the gun, then
I'll get behind the guy and sort of point it at his back, the small of his back.
I want to make sure that I'm not in any way, shape, or form in line of trajectory for this. I'll be honest.
Yeah, be on either side of him. Be on either side of him, because otherwise, yeah, it is kind of a cone of destruction when this blunderbuss goes off.
All right. Okay. So you aim the blunderbuss as Race tries to. So what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to sort of heal what's left of his wounds? Or are you trying to get him up? What are you trying to do?
I mean, ostensibly, I suppose, as a healer mortician, maybe I've got smelling salts or something equivalent with me, just something to kind of like rouse him.
Okay. So you.
Worst case, I'll give him a slap.
Yep. So you rouse him, and he kind of vaguely comes back, and he goes, she is awake, Rutherford.
Rutherford's not here anymore. But tell me, who are you?
Sebastian.
Rusty, was that?
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
That's nice.
And tell me, Sebastian, what do you do around here?
He just looks at you, and the pinpoint pupils he has are incredibly disconcerting to you. But he just looks you straight in the eye and goes, "I awaken her form."
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Okay.
Her form? He said form.
Form.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll to see how you get on pulling the trigger. See what happens.
Oh, come on, it's point blank at literally in
You're
the
right.
smallest.
You're
back.
right.
Fine.
I'll roll then. And see what
Got
happens.
D20.
It's fine. I've
fine.
rolled.
Oh,
Right,
wait. Oh, shit.
you pull the trigger and fire. There's a very wet sound, and as the smoke clears, his leg is separated from his body. He just sort of makes a kind of sound as he just topples over.
I'm just going to look up at Ink and be, well, I guess that's all we're getting out of him then.
I got scared.
It was ominous, I'll give you that. Awakening a form?
That sounded like something bad was about to happen.
2 seconds, guys. Apologies. I just need to Mary is frantically waving at me. I think there's a spider. 2 seconds. I'll just mute my Steam mic if you just want to give her a quick 2 seconds, but I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Why doesn't Mr. Cat go after it, you know? I
You
feel
did
like
say
if I had a cat,
spider. You did say
I feel like if
spider,
I had a
right?
cat, he'd go after us. And spider, yeah. You know, just like
Mr. Cat is terrified of spiders as well. He will not try and get them.
I can see Mr. Cat. Hello there, Mr. Cat. They call him Mr. Cat.
The long cat.
Sorry, I got a bit. I was worried. I got a bit spooked there. Just like, okay, that's enough. Bam.
Just one question, and then no, that's the. You alluded to something that you're going to summon, and we can't have that.
And I was too scared to carry on.
Something bad.
Something
Well, that's
bad,
good.
and so I ran. Not ran. Not.
Bang bang.
Yeah.
I kind of dread to see you play like a RPG game or something, where it's like all of the options, like you're always going for the one that's just like, let me punch him in the face, please. Skip all the dialogue. I don't need context. Just
Yeah. On the one hand, I can understand that, but usually I'm not like that. It's just like in this specific game, I'm like the number of times we've been like, oh, let's just stand back and see what happens, and then something truly horrible happens, and we're like, oh shit, we probably should have done something earlier. And maybe I shouldn't be thinking like that because it's not how my character would think. But ultimately, I am playing the character, so I'm gonna make bad calls every so often.
I like Ink's kind of attitude here so far, where it's been like, oh, we should kind of, is it right to kill him? Should we do that? And then mere moments later, after he said one ominous thing, pow.
I'm just like, I just got terrified. I lost my nerve immediately. I was like, oh, it's a baddie! Bam, 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 bam.
You were right. We
Just
didn't need to
open
listen
fire.
No, he only said one bad thing, but he also has blood everywhere. Is like pinpoint eyes. I mean, there's a lot of weird shit. So.
Yeah, and the other guys seem very defensive about it.
Well, it sounds like this guy is possibly a tool for the cult of some sort, maybe?
Something, yeah.
Some sort of sacrifice.
It gives me the willies.
Well, we'll see what comes of this. If there's more of them, I've got to assume. Immortalitasi, was it? I don't think I've heard of them in the game universe.
They're basically, how do I put this? Mages who worship the dead. Like they revere the dead. They're like, they have big mausoleums all throughout Navarra to like, they're very particular about death rituals.
Okay.
And they're also usually advisors to the king. So
important folk then, and definitely the types where this is probably not going to come to an easy end if this is connected.
Sorry.
Well, let's see how long we're in the country for if we can get to where we're going. And I feel like at this point we've probably got quite a parade behind us at various points of people that are just pissed off at us and for some reason or other, like, and possibly following. The naked guy that couldn't die in particular, I feel like surely he's just angrily running down the road still to this day.
Man, who even was that?
We never knew. Just a guy possessed of immortality, it seemed, and a bit of madness on top. I've got to assume that this is quite an epic battle with the spider.
But yeah, with the Immortalitasi, I figure they're kind of like next after Tevinter as far as mages that can probably get away with shit.
Okay.
In Thetis, like they're not as mage centric as Tevinter is, but compared to the rest of Thetis, I mean, they're advisors to a king, which you don't get anywhere else in Thetis. Which would explain why he was able to get away, why the Templar hadn't just killed them outright. He probably had enough influence to keep the Templar in check.
Yes, bit of diplomatic immunity that we've completely ignored.
Yeah, diplomatic what?
What's that then? Anyone? No?
Doesn't work against blunderbusses, alas.
Yeah.
It's good to know that they're quite high up official types, because that makes me hesitant to use the old lawyering trick as and when we come across more of them. Because if anybody's going to clock it, it's probably going to be them.
Mm.
They're going to pull out some. But what about subsection 3, clause 5?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh, news of the battle. How goes it? Was it a glorious victory?
Yep, that is the spider dealt with. He decided to crawl on the wall right next to Meow when she was trying to sleep. So he had to get put
Eesh.
outside.
Go on. Oot.
Yeah, apologies. Meow is getting better, but she's still horrendously arachnophobic if one appears like this far away from her face.
That's fair.
So yeah.
I mean, I named my spiders around here, but even I wouldn't want one that close to my face.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a bunch of spiders that just wander around. It's not a problem. But Meow's kind of accepted that the ones that are mostly like out of her reach or not near her are staying. But when there's this one that crawls from like under the bed up the wall,
Yeah, when it's right there,
Yeah.
it's a bit different.
that literally brought the response. So I had to let's go and get rid of it. Anyway, apologies. So we're back. We're where were we? You just killed the second dude, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay. So, did you have any other conversation while I was otherwise disposed?
That I was a little bit gung ho. But yeah.
Yes, and figuring out
Gun ho, perhaps.
more Salatassi as well. So we're up to speed. But yes, beyond that, yeah, we're left in the moment.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, you as the shot rings out, and he makes a sort of gurgling as his leg falls to one side, he falls to the other. Everything goes incredibly quiet. What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah. I think that's because we've gone deaf, but
That as well. Yeah.
I want to look around in every direction just to make sure that nobody's running in reaction to the sounds of the blunderbuss having gone off a couple of times recently and all this fracas.
I'm kind of curious if there's any clues on the body, like in a pocket, or.
You look through
considering I have
Oh.
just committed 2 murders, I'm going to start going back towards the caravan.
I see.
Caravan?
Caravan?
Wagon.
Yes. Okay. So you start heading back towards the wagon effectively. Not Trist. Is it Tristan? Yeah, it's Tristan. Tristan looks through the pockets and eventually finds on the skinny man. They find the brooch that was very similar to one Wraith has.
Pocket it. That could come in handy, having 2.
Well, if we can get one for the whole gang, then it was us.
All right. So once you do that, you find nothing else of any value. You find a couple of little personal effects like pipes and stuff like that, but nothing that you'd say is worth taking.
Or suspicious.
Mm.
I mean,
oh, sorry, you go.
I was to say just might as well head back, get away from the bodies.
Well, yeah, assuming nobody's coming running at us, then yeah, let's all head to the caravan and we'll drive off.
You head back to the caravan. As you return to the caravan, you see the Templar from earlier leading a bunch of villagers behind him, running towards where you were. He hasn't seemed to have noticed you.
We
That's
can
good.
stay off end to the side or wherever we are, and just like maybe like form a little like, oh, we're just having a conversation against the kind of bit of subterfuge.
So as you see them run in, there's a mighty scream from one of them as they turn around the corner to. Well, I think they'll go into the sort of area you were around all the statues. You hear a some ear-piercing scream as someone has obviously found the bodies left lying there.
Whoopsie.
I mean, they were expecting one of the bodies because didn't we shoot the first one before the Templar left?
Hmm?
Yeah.
But then I guess could the Templar have possibly described quite what these people are now witnessing in a way that they would have been able to like? This would probably blow the mind of most villagers in that way.
And
like,
also, it's not whether or not he actually believed or believed me when I said, "Look, he must be a blood mage. Look, he's covered in blood." He might not. He might have been. He doesn't feel like an actual Templar. Or if he is, he's a very silly one because I'm pretty sure an actual Templar wouldn't be behaving like that. An actual Templar probably would either recognize real blood magic or just like and act on it rather than just be bullied by a little man. But maybe things are different in Navarra. Either way, I'm in big shit, so I'm just gonna keep hiding.
Yeah, let's scurry on to our car.
Okay. As you get to your cart and you sort of pack up to head off, and to heading south. Just as you're sort of quietly leaving, you see a runner come past you saying, he runs up to your cart and he sort of jumps up next to Manny and goes, "Quick, are you going south?" Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think we are. Great, we need to go to the next village. We need their elder. There's been a shooting.
A shooting?
But no one
I didn't. Shit, I didn't think they knew about guns.
I think they know
Oh,
about
dear.
crossbows, so I think they associate any ranged weapons with shooting.
Oh, of course, because be through the eye.
Hmm.
All right then, I guess we can. I guess we can take them, but we're not going back.
Yeah.
As you leave, he goes, "Can't this thing go any faster? It's urgent."
This is about as fast as it gets.
I want to know why it's so urgent.
Oh, we need to resurrect him. We need to know what happened to him.
Oh, that's. Like, well, he was blood mage. So, look, Ink said that. Yeah, he was blood mage.
Well, we need their elder. We need their elder to come here so we can, we can tell him what happened.
Yeah.
And I think of whether do we really want him with us on this basis?
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, by the time we get to the town and then drop him off, and he talks to the elder, and then they get all the way back to the other town to do it, we should have plenty head start.
This is true.
Yeah, maybe we do that then. Maybe we do that. Do.
We'll just be very cooperative, and maybe we hide your blunderbuss under the bath for a little while. Just keep it completely out of sight. Don't worry about that.
All right. As you travel along the road, eventually you come to the gates of this village. As you get to the door of this village, you see a quite large, almost platoon of what looks like the undead, just very slowly marching in line, with 2 or 3 mages in what looks like the same kind of robes as you saw from the one you just shot. On horseback, seem to be chanting something as they're walking next to it. What would you like to do?
Well, that's worrisome.
I mean, if we recognize the brooches are the same, maybe we should make them the ones we have on us more visible.
Are they regarding us in any way right now?
They sort of acknowledge you on the road and they ask you to sort of move out of the way as they take this shambling platoon up the road you came by. One of the ones on horseback sort of shouts over to you, what news from the north? And the very enthusiastic man goes, there's been a killing! There's been a killing! We need to go quickly! And he scrabbles off of your cart and tries to jump on top of the horse with the man who quite easily just sort of bats him away every time he tries
I was
to
going
get
to
up.
say, that's not going to fly. Alright, well, I guess,
Can we take the opportunity to kind of like just be like, well, good day, and try and move on without the other guy jumping back on our cart?
Yeah.
yeah. He can follow them on foot with the zombies.
Right. Well, as you say good day, he goes, stop! And he sort of stares at you, then stares just slightly down, then just stares back at you again, and he goes, I didn't know that we were hiring to Vinter.
Desperate times and all that. Give him a nod.
He's been shown to be amenable to our cause.
He sort of nods and goes, I didn't know, he sort of looks at me, I didn't know you did it.
Well, not normally, but this one is special.
I've been known to do it when the need must.
He just sort of roughed it over. Well, we need more of you to raise more of the Legion. We're going to fight the Canary.
About time.
We've specific orders. We must be on our way.
Oh, I see. And he taps his nose and goes, well, if you finish early, we always need more on the front line.
Rest assured, I will send any backup I might be able to raise, one way or the other.
Right, well, Abby. And he just sort of carries on with this sort of very slowly moving, shambling platoon of undead.
Yikes.
On we go, Manny.
Yeah. Is this giving anyone else the creeps? It's bothering me.
Wraith is holding his hand out in front of him and it's wobbling all over the place. Yes, just a little bit. Oh, that was nerve-wracking.
So after a couple of minutes, you pass all the sort of, as I said, the platoon of undead, and you continue into the town. This town looks very quiet now. All the undead went through it, but it's the entire like ground basically is like covered in like dragging foot marks. It's erased anything else that could potentially have come through for easily weeks with all these like dragging footprints left behind. And at this point, you just hear someone leaning out a window go, "Don't just stand there. Are you gonna help or not?"
Is he talking to us?
And at this point, Manny's going, I don't know what's happening. And the voice goes, "Get over here." And at this point, a sort of littleish man walks from the corner of the next building and goes, "Come on, we're trying to get the next one open. Come on." And as Manny sort of jumps down instinctively and follows this man, he leads him around to one of the larger houses, which seems to be sealed shut, and there are several people trying to sort of work the sort of mortar between the bricks to sort of open the doorway. What do you want to do?
Well, Wraith will jump down. Oh, Manny! Oh, you're so easily led. Come back, man! Quick, let's check out where's he going? And I guess we'll follow after him and be presented by the people with the bricks.
Yeah.
So as you follow him round, there's about 7 or 8 looks like obvious quite sort of labourers working trying to get this door open, and next to them seems to be a very, again similar to the robes you've seen already, a very sort of middle-aged to late-aged man looking around as in kind of like this is beneath, waiting around is beneath him. And as eventually they get one of the bricks to slide out, and the first one of many, he goes, "Oh, you take so long to get anything done. I could have been in my bed for another 2 hours."
Can I put a hand on Manny's shoulder and just whisper to him, "Back to the cart, Manny. You've got to stop following people around."
But he said he needed help.
A lot of people need help, as you might have noticed, but you're helping us.
Oh, all right. Well, where do I put this brick then?
Well,
Put it down.
Yeah,
Just put it down and get out of here. Come on. I'm eager to get as much, like room between, as much distance between us and the previous village.
Alright. So you.
before we move away from this, I'd just like to just generally ask the crowd, what's going on here? Why are you trying to get into that building this way? Somebody trapped in there?
They turn, look at you quite confused, and then one of them sort of points and goes, "He's got the badge." And everyone goes, "Oh," as one, and they go, "Oh, well, are you the one taking over the relief one from us?"
No, don't, just checking in. Really just wanted to find out what you're doing.
Well, this house here is marked as, if we ever need reinforcements to take it from it. And he sort of hands you a sheet of paper that's covered in very old Nevadan script. And he goes, this house here is full of warriors. We've told to res them if we need to defend the realm.
I'll pore over the list, nodding sagely, and just sort
Can you even read Navaran?
I'm trying to think. I guess my guy's quite well educated, although he's not from Navarre, so ostensibly probably not. But all the same, I'm gonna nod and be like, yes, it looks like this is in order. Well, keep up the work where we've ordered of our own.
At this point,
We're on our way.
The man in the robes goes, "Well, if he's here, he can do it. He's got the qualifications. I could just go home. Right, bye." And he just turns around and starts walking.
Hey, what? No, you're in charge here. No slacking off. Come back.
He turns around and looks at you and goes, "Look, I'm just a lowly mage. You're obviously higher, being in the, taps the thing and taps his chest. You're obviously higher up than me. You can do this with ease. I don't need to be here."
You just said it yourself, my friend, and I'll tap on the brooch. Higher up. And when I say something, that's what goes, right?
He just starts grumbling into himself a lot more.
Back you come.
I'm going to feign looking scared of Wraith and sort of mime to the guy like,
For podcast viewers, Tom has made a very frightened looking face.
and I've been shaking my hands like, no, don't do that, don't do that.
So after a couple more minutes, you have returned to the car. Again, the man in robes is sort of eyeing you up from where he is, because he has that kind of teenage look of, "Oh, for fuck's sake, why am I here? There's nothing going on that I can do." Whereas they're slowly pulling these long bricks out of the doorway.
And I kind of turn to everybody else and be like, it really does seem like necromancy is the theme of the day.
I agree.
They were very much under the impression that I was capable. I can't say I've ever turned my hand much as I've spent a great deal of time around. Well, there was that horse, actually. And then I'll look over at the skeletal horse. I suppose I could learn a thing or two from them. And he's just lost in thought, scratching his chin now, thinking about.
All right. So you head off again, and as you're heading along this road, you hear the sound of something approaching, and again there's this massive long train of undead just walking next to you. That seems to be heading up to the north. Are you doing anything as you pass them, or are you just trying to get past them as quickly as possible?
Let's just get down to Cumberland. I'm feeling a bit antsy with all these undead around, even if they are fighting the Canary.
Gonna try and stay out of sight for this one and make sure that brooch isn't on show for anybody to catch a glimpse of.
Alright. So you, as I said, you continue along this path. Eventually you get to the next village, and there seems to be a small gathering as you approach of men in the sort of Mortalatasi robes. And two of them go, "Well, I'm on my way to the Grand Necropolis, but we have been sent to try and encourage all of you that we find to take a section and resurrect it so we can take it in, so we can deal with this Canary menace. You," and he sort of points at Manny, goes, "Have you brought reinforcements?"
We're not reinforcements, we're travelling.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
We have other business.
Travelling? Well, travelling where? Travelling what? Travelling what, doing what?
Cumberland.
Why? What's in Cumberland?
A boat. Lots of boats.
We're Grey Wardens on Grey Warden business.
He sort of goes to his belt and he opens sort of just grips the top of his sword and he goes, "What's... You're not cowards and fleeing, are you?"
We have another battle to fight.
They're headed towards... What was it? The Dale-ish? Dales?
The Dales.
The Dales. Whatever. Somewhere in Orlais, apparently there's been a large amount of darkspawn that have broken through the mountains.
Darkspawn are nothing compared to the Canary threat.
Depends where you live, I suppose. If you live here, Canary are much more urgent. If you live in Orlais, the Darkspawn are much more urgent.
He sort of narrows his eyes at you again and just goes, "So what is your cargo?"
Wraith is in the back, having quietly slipped off the brooch and pocketed it, so it's out of sight. Hearing that we've identified as Grey Wardens, he's made sure that we're covered.
Cargo? Mostly lumber.
Lumber?
Yeah. They want to build fortifications. They say, oh, the best wood's from up north. Well, personally, I think one tree's as good as the next, but that's what they say.
I mean,
Maybe they want to do something special.
Your cart is very vast for such a small party. We could requisition it for our own means. We would get the troops to the border far faster.
I don't think the Grey Warden High Command would be very pleased with that.
They don't seem to come to Navarra often.
No. That's because they're busy saving your asses down in Orlais. I should know. I've been supplying them for about, going on 15 years now.
So you make this trip often?
About once every few months. Depends on conditions. There's always someone setting up a toll booth along the road. It's got to be dealt with. On the other hand, on the way back, I'd be more than willing to help out if there's a certain amount in it for me.
I mean, what are you looking for? Property? Mark of your own in the Grand Necropolis? What are you looking for?
I'm not. Mostly it's money, to be honest, because then I'm a smith by trade. Money to make a smithy, and maybe buy a property. It could be made into a smithy to earn more money to make a better smithy. Be nice to have a base of operations in Navarra.
Well, I mean, we do need weapons for gestures towards the sort of small chittering undead horde that are following along. We need weapons for them. Maybe we should get you to work.
Once I've made the delivery to Cumberland, I'll see if I can make my way back up north. If there's a market for it, might as well.
Cumberland is a strange place of late. There are too many people trying to leave on boats.
I see. Where are they leaving to?
Wherever they
Where's
can,
it
it
leave?
seems.
Oh.
Well, if you're not going to assist us, then I suppose you should be on your way. And he sort of quietly sort of moves back a bit and gestures for you to move past with the cart.
I'll nod at him and on my way back. On our way past.
He again sort of eyes you all suspiciously and goes, "Are you sure you're not, he trails off and he looks very intently at the bath in the back of your cart, and he just kind of goes like, something's amiss with that one.
Bunch of weirdos.
Well,
We have a large bath.
While he's looking in the back,
Fucking bath.
Wraith is gonna just pull up his sleeve and go, "Look, Grey Warden's all right. All of this is our property and our business."
He just kind of like, you just see him lose interest as soon as you show him the tattoo. And he's just like, well, I mean, before you go, actually. And he ruffles through his pockets and he goes, "Could you just sign this?" And he hands you a scrap of paper that just basically says something in Old Navaran.
I'm gonna eye it, and
Can you read it?
I can't. Does anybody have the capacity to read any of this?
Well, your friend says he's been here
Navaran.
multiple times. I assume he's understood Navaran.
No, I just refused to sign anything if I couldn't read it.
I'm gonna sign
on.
a completely made up name. I'm just gonna write some. I'm trying to think of something silly, but not too obvious.
Come on, don't sign something you can't understand. Basic business 101.
The lawyer that has built up in Wraith is screaming, but there's some part that's just like, does it really matter if you just write your name? Like, I don't think I've ever heard of any magic or anything. Bind yourself by doing this or anything like that. And I can just write Joe Blogs and pass it back to him. Like, there you go. Tell everybody Joe Blogs came through.
Joe Blogs. Oh, well, okay. Well, if we ever meet again, I hope it's on better circumstances.
I'm sure it will be.
He hands it to sort of a small runner on the ground and he goes, "Take that for filing in the necropolis." "Yes, sir. Right away." And he again sprints off. "Well, I wish you all the fun times in Cumberland." And he just goes back to what he's doing.
Phew.
Manny ride.
Quickly.
Yeah. What is it you're after?
Let's go.
Ready the horses.
Okay. So you sprint off once again. This time long into the sort of eve, and as you begin to get again, you pass several more of these like quite large undead, sort of shambling undead parties. Seems to all be heading north. And eventually, as you come into the border of what looks like Cumberland itself, there's quite a large toll booth set up.
There it is.
And
Is it the one that I remember from previous occasions?
it is. And as you approach, there's a voice you recognise from several times before going like, "Hello, I want you. If you go into Cumberland, are you selling or picking up?"
Ah. Does this guy have a name?
Let's just say
I
these
like the name Nathaniel.
Well, could you call him Nathaniel? That's fine.
Nathaniel, you old gut roll. How's it been?
Oh, it's you again. Well, you look like you've brought a bigger
again.
cart this time.
Yeah, cart trouble on the way here. I've hitched a ride with these Grey Wardens here.
Grey
It's
Wardens, you
same.
say?
Yeah, it's the same cargo as normal.
Oh, I see.
Although it might be easier if we separate at this point, just so we know what's what. Anyway, is the fee still the same?
Oh, it's as much as you can think is normal,
All right.
This
There you
time we've had to requisition old black powder you've got though. It's gonna go fight
Oh?
the Canary.
Oh bloody hell! Really, all of it?
Well, you know, the easiest thing is to strap some of it to one of the shambling lads.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. All right. Let me just go sort some things out. Go buy yourself a couple of ales on me.
All
And I
right.
hand him a small pouch of coins.
He
I turn to Wraith and just be like, "Well, it's just business."
Yeah. Wraith will give you a kind of like little nod, like, yeah, I get it.
And I'll, carefully sort of like evaluate how much black powder I think I can get away with keeping, and how much that we can get away with giving to them, and unload a couple of barrels for it. Be like, all right then, there you go. Do I get anything back from this, or is it? Do I get a chitty?
no, it's regulation from the necropolis. You know, it's not something we can have any control over.
Yeah, well, I expected that. Damn. All right. Well, never mind. Tar anyway. And I'll nudge.
There's also not been any ships for the past couple of days, though there's one due soon.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, because I'll drop off. I'll just drop them off at their HQ and then be on my way again. See if I can pick up any bits and bobs.
As you are then.
Tar.
And as you head off inside to Cumberland, the streets are full of what looks like a mix of Ferelden or Legion refugees.
Yeah, I bet. Watch your pockets. I don't know if you've been to a city before, but even it's not the biggest city in the world, but there'll still be pickpockets aplenty, especially with all these refugees around. They'll be desperate. All right, coming through. I know where having been made, quite a few deliveries before, I'll know where the Grey Warden HQ is.
Okay.
So we'll start heading towards there.
As you get to the Grey Warden HQ, you find it completely deserted.
Oh
Good
shit!
time.
That's bad.
Like it's been left in a rush, or it's been left for a long time.
Deserted it, and it was left, and there seems to have people seem to have broken in and used it for basically a squatting.
All right. Shit. How am I going to settle my weapons now?
Yes, it's not what we were hoping for, really. Wanted somebody with some authority. Well, I suppose the best we could do is maybe have a look around and see if there's any records or any sign of where people may have gone from here. How long ago? Could be some last remnants of the Grey Wardens around.
As you're looking around, a very raspy voice comes from the next room and goes, "They've gone to fight the darkspawn.
Well, all of them?
Well, yeah, it's darkspawn. It's the Grey Warden's do, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but you need someone to hold the keep. I've got to deliver weapons here for them.
Oh, I'll
What's the
take
point
them
if
if
they'll-
you want.
Ah, piss off, old man.
Oh, I mean,
Go
who
on,
else
buy
is going to
yourself-
show you them? I mean, I'll give you a shiny copper piece for each of them.
You can't afford my wares.
Well, if you take a shiny copper piece for all of them, I can.
Ha! That fat chance. I mean, have you seen the craftswork on this? My apprentice spent hours on some of these pieces.
Oh, so you're a worker exploiter then?
Yeah. Well, when I can't get away from it.
I see. Well,
They're good lads, the workers. I swear some of them will be better blacksmiths than me any day now.
I see. Well,
Two of them, two of my ex-apprentices already set up their own shops. I mean, okay, admittedly one of them failed fairly soon, but the other one's going pretty strong. Does really fancy filigree and silver and gold and stuff, real fancy stuff. Me, I prefer weapons. There's always a market for weapons. Anyway, so how long have they all been gone then?
about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Not that long.
Since we heard something about the darkspawn coming into Orlais.
I guess if I want to offload these weapons, then I'm going to have to hang on with you guys for a bit longer.
Yes, we'll have to continue on our path. You don't happen to know the route that they were taking into Orlais?
Well, I believe he got the one of the last boats heading to Orlais.
The last boat. Are you
Well,
saying
one of the
no
last
one-
boats, yes.
So there's nobody left to take us?
Well, I'm sure you can find something. And then at this point, you just hear this very loud trumpet sound, and someone shout, "There's more on the dock! They're coming in the dock!" And as you look around, people are rushing towards the docks, and you see this gigantic boat, very low in the water, full to the brim with people on it, just slowly drifting its way towards the harbour.
That'll be from Orlais then. So the ship will probably offload. Do you think it'll be coming back? Going back the same way towards Orlais?
Only one way to find out.
I suppose. Go down to the docks and talk to Harbour Master maybe.
Okay. You go down.
Before we go, I'd like to. The thing is, the whole place is crowded with refugees. Where would I go? Because I'm thinking of Jem, who I left in charge of the shop. Because I've been broken down, I'm wondering if maybe she's caught up. Because if Starkhaven's burnt, Starkhaven?
Yeah.
Tanterville? Starkhaven.
Starkhaven, yeah.
Been burnt down. Then if she got out, the only place she'd probably know where to go would be here, because that's where I am. Well, unless she went home, but I don't know. But her home's unless she went to see her great-great-grandparents, I don't think they were even alive. Is there a way of working out where she could be here?
I mean, what's the chances that she got there faster than you?
Slim, but I did break down for several days. And as just one person on a horse, probably be a lot faster than a cart full of weaponry.
So as you
I'd like to. I'm gonna. You guys go deal. While you guys go down to the harbour and ask about boats, I'd like to quickly nip off to a few of the pubs and taverns, inns, and just put up a little note. Just spread the word that there's a half human, half dwarf called Ink who wants to hear about anyone called Jem, and if they do pick up the message that I'm headed towards Orlais, the HQ's closed. But otherwise, I don't know what to do. Like a missing person poster, but in reverse.
Okay. As you put this up, and the boat that's incredibly low in the harbour brushes against the edge and about to disembark. Actually, yeah, you know what? On that note, we'll probably wind that up there because I'll carry this on next time. Yeah. So, you're in Cumberland and you were at the harbour, so I will go from there next time. But yes, that will do us for this time. Apologies, it's a little bit shorter, but as I said, most of the things I had planned you just kind of blew through. So I was like, what can I do with these? And all the kind of things take time to build up responses. So yes, we'll carry on with this next time. We have more things to uncover. So yes, that will do us for this time. Mr. Eden, are you doing any streams anytime soon?
Probably next Saturday, the usual Clone Hero thing at about 2:30 UK time.
You can find Mr. Eden over at Monkey Magic Eden. One thing we need to do is we need to do the affiliate codes so you can get money off with Penance RPG at checkout for dndice.co.uk or gemhammer.com. And that, I think, is everything we need to do. Our next streams will be tomorrow. I believe it's me and Barry playing Temtem. Tuesday, I believe, is for Laston this week. Is it for Laston this week?
So?
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
For Laston this week. Then Wednesday is Power World. Thursday is Indie Horror. Friday is Battle Trauma. And then next Sunday will be more Dark Tide. And hopefully by then I will have more things you can do. It won't be as fast as this week. But sadly we don't know anyone on that I could raid into that would be suitable. So I may just wind up cold. Yeah, sadly there's no one I know on that I would say is good to roll into. So we're just gonna wind up cold. But yes, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you all. And we'll catch you all next time. Till then, good night.
Bye bye.